and for the last 7 years under Governor Mills and the Democrat majority, we haven't had willing accountability. We've had definitely kind of wanting to just cover over and not talk about where the funds are going, but just asking for more, asking Maine people for more. We need more money. That has been how they've operated, and that has contributed to this 65% increase. And Mainers are kind of going, okay, where is this going, and am I benefiting from it? I think that's the question that folks ask. A lot of people might not know, what's in the budget exactly, and read this 300-page document. But is this budget benefiting Mainers? Is it making our life better? You talked about that we're near the bottom of the barrel as far as our economic ratings and our freedom, our economic freedom. We're at the bottom of the barrel in education. We have the highest price increases in energy as well. So we have all of these categories where we're headed the wrong direction, and Maine people very much feel that.
Yeah, it's tough, right? And I mean, it hits them every day. I mean, this affordability crisis that was generated in many ways by the Biden administration's bad policies and the Federal Reserve, too much money printing, created this inflationary cycle. But you've also got to look at what's happening at the state level, whether it be taxes, zoning on housing, or any of the things that you just mentioned. What are we spending this money on? And when you look at what's happened over the last decade of some of the research that I've done at the Americans for Tax Reform, their Sustainable Budget Project, and we looked at the last decade from 2015 to 2024, that period. But what we show was that the all funds budget, the total budget, increased by 8.5% per year compared to 3.9% for population inflation, meaning that the budget was growing twice as fast as the average taxpayer's ability to pay for government spending. And so when you do that, you're going to continue to put more and more people at a larger burden. For example, this excessive spending compared to population inflation, good metric, we could talk about that. But if it just matched population inflation over that decade, taxes would be about $4,000 less per family of four than what they're paying today. So that contributes to an affordability crisis.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and that's really remarkable numbers. If you think about, let's just assume that every Mainer, and of course this is not the case, but let's just assume that every Mainer has gotten cost of living increase, right, to their wage. Essentially, the spending is skyrocketing so far past that their pay increase would have to be dramatically above what it was if they got an inflation increase. So Mainers are net negative in a huge way because of this 65% increase in spending. The increases that we've had certainly have not kept pace with the drastic increases that government spending has had.
No. And if you have all the additional revenue, instead of increasing spending by the 65%, what if taxes had been cut with all those additional dollars, and how much more money would be in people's pockets? That improves affordability. It allows you to be able to buy more, put more food on the table for their families and everything else. And it's a tough time. And consumer confidence across the country has been declining some, here recently. And I think it's the lowest level now since 2014, according to some recent data out of the consumer confidence report. And that's across the country. But then when you isolate it down and say, okay, let's narrow it down into a state or local governments, then you start seeing some of these other factors of what are contributing to people not getting as much in income, paying too much in taxes, and ultimately making the tough decision to leave. To leave their state, their home, and move somewhere else. And we see people doing this all across the country, including in Maine.